We're back on the workbench again. Bit of scratch building this week. Well, as Frank Spencer used to say, I've had a bit of trouble. And the trouble I've had is with the wire for the overhead line, the catenary. It's just changing its shape slightly. I think it must be due to temperature. The Sommerfeld pantographs, which are spring-loaded, occasionally just come adrift of the wire and then we crash into whatever's left. It's not good. So I've got to scratch build. I'm going to scratch build a gantry. Now these are going to be my columns, which I've already cut in true Blue Peter style. And this is the bit that's going to go across the top, and I want that to be 117 from the end of that ruler. So I want that to be there. Where am I? Like a knife through butter there. So that's going to go like that. That just fits nicely in there, and that should just fit nicely in there. So I have to solder them like so. I'm going to cut a little angle bit like that, which you see prototypically. Now the catenary system I'm using, these were originally made by Märklin, I think. Is that how you pronounce it? Märklin. And that's the mast. And what happens is there's a little loop at the end of each catenary wire, and it just clips over this spring-loaded thing here, and the top hooks onto there. So I need to replicate that shape as best I can. Well, I've done it with some judicious bending. The trouble is you can't get these anymore. If you can, I'd like to know where from. Well, I have drawn a 45-degree angle on there using... Oh, how impressed are you with that? So if I put that on there, and then I cut phasers on kill then. I've never used that in kill mode. So that goes there. Get rid of them for a minute. That goes there. And that goes there. Does it look okay? Does it look a bit big? I'll have to look at a photo. This is kind of the look. This kind of gantry. This kind of affair. This is what I hope it will end up looking like. Well, here's one, which I think what the bit I've cut looks just about right. And then the way this hangs, so that comes down and that's got a bit coming over there like that. So that's going to be that bit. And then I'll get another bit and just solder it in there. Then somehow these insulators will be made. Okay, for soldering brass, I have found out you need low temperature solder, which this is. Low temperature solder. And some special flux, which this one is Carr's yellow flux, which apparently is the flux that you need for the job. So what we will do, we'll put a little bit of flux on the end of there, like so. Then that goes in there. I think I ought to put a bit of flux in there as well while I'm at it. The theory is, wherever you put the flux, that's where the solder will go. So let's hope that works. Now this is where I love my mat, because I can place that along that white line and the top along that white line, and it is perfectly square, so long as I don't knock it. So a bit of low temperature solder on there. Now very gently, let's just give it a second to set. Oh, that's a beautiful joint. I'm so happy with myself. So let's see whether that was beginner's luck. Let's see if I can do it again. Flux on the end of here. Column. Deprecation. Alright. Bob on the lines. Bit of low temperature solder, or as the Americans would call it, solder. Just give it a second to set. Let's see what we've done. Ooh. Do you know what? That's good work for today. Good work. Well, I'm going to put these little bits in now. That one there. And that one there. But not that one, that was a mistake. Got it wrong by 90 degrees. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. Well, I've been using the milliput. You get 2 rolls of stuff and you cut off equal lengths and you mix it like plasticine. You just keep working it and folding it and working it, and then you can make anything you like with it, and it sets absolutely rock hard. So I have made some insulators. What do you think of my insulators? It's taken me ages to do them, and I used a little screwdriver like so, and I just kept prodding it and poking it and moulding it. So now I'm going to wait for them to set, and then I'm going to paint it with some grey primer, and then I'm going to paint the insulators a different colour, rusty red, and then that'll be done. Okay, now for a quick spray with the old Halford's primer. No need for the airbrush, just very quick spray. Well, I've painted my insulators, and I'm just about to install the aforementioned gantry. I think those insulators look okay. What I'm going to do, well, what I've had to do down here, I just had to dig out a bit of the ballast at the bottom. So, super glue here and here, and then I'll put some new ballast on, so that'll glue it down again. And I've been just checking that the pantograph comes through at the right level there, because this is where it was all going wrong with the catenary there, but that seems to be all right. So there we go. I would say the job is done. Roll the captions.